What on earth are you thinking about? Why is your mind so important? Why is your mind a terrible thing to waste? Everything about our life involves our mind. That's why I feel like it's a mind thing. We're talking about it right here on Dion Nicole Inspire. So many of us take our minds for granted. But do we really realize how valuable and important and powerful our mind really is? I'd like to talk about the mind in a 3-part series. I want to break it all down. I want to start here. Let's talk about the brain. The brain is a complex organ that controls thought, memory, emotion, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every process that regulates our body. The brain itself is not a muscle. It contains blood vessels and nerves, including neurons and glial cells. In order for the brain to work, you need nerve cells that can detect information about the outside world and can transmit that information to other nerve cells. It's the transmission of information, the cells talking to each other, that's the fundamental physical basis for how the brain works. Some would say how thinking works. The brain sends and receives these chemical and electrical signals throughout the body. Different signals control different processes, and your brain interprets each. Some make you feel tired, for example, while others make you feel pain. The brain is where a complex network of cells receives information from the internal and external environment, transforming this information into how we experience ourselves, the world around us, and our relationships with it. Now, I'd like to break all of that dictionary definition down. Now, most people think that the brain and the mind are one and the same. But I would explain that no, the brain is not your mind. It's quite different. The information that the brain receives from your mind is how the brain functions and is how the brain knows what to do. The brain is simply the organ that carries out the functions of our mind. Now let's talk about our mind. What is the mind? First of all, the mind is one of God's most unique creations within the creation of the human being. Your mind consists of your heart, your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions. It is your consciousness. So where does your thoughts come from? Our thoughts come from our flesh, our human desires, interests, likes and dislikes. Our thoughts come from our ego, our personality. Our thoughts also come from God, or the enemy, the devil. Or our thoughts can come from worldly influences, and our thoughts can come from past experiences or past traumas. So there's many areas from where our thoughts come from. Now, I'd like to explain the importance of our thoughts. Did you know the human brain has about 70,000 thoughts per day? That's a lot of thoughts. Everybody is thinking about a lot of things all day long. And it's so important to know and to channel and learn how to filter those thoughts. Why? We'll talk about that much more. And so what the mind does is the mind uses these thoughts that all of us have and turns it into our feelings, which also creates our emotions. Depending on the emotions that it creates, those emotions are carried to your heart and creates the actions in which we take every day. That is the process that we need to be aware of so that we can be in control of each of these processes. Like I said, it's a mind thing, and we have to get a grip on our mind. So in part 2, we are talking about what to do with these thoughts. We are talking about how to channel and how to filter our thoughts, and more so, we are talking about the source of our motivation. Thank you so much for joining me today. Follow us, please, on all of our social media, and we have great apparel to back up our message. Spread the word, everybody, and be encouraged. It's a mind thing. Take care.